The others nodded in confirmation, letting me know that they truly believed in me as well. I guess it really was over then. Well, kinda. There were still some questions that remained unanswered, but at least I had fulfilled my promise. I had managed to convince everyone of Carmen's innocence. And for now, that was all that mattered. Ja, ein Problem gibt's allerdings noch. Ich weiß zwar gerade nicht welches. Ich wollte zwar gerade irgendwas sagen, ich habe gerade vergessen, was ich sagen wollte. Ich bin so müde. Es ist gerade 2:39 Uhr morgens. Und ich habe die letzte Nacht gar nicht geschlafen. Also, ich bin seit... Ja... sagen wir mal... mindestens 32 Stunden wach. Länger. Muss schon viel länger sein. Ich bin... muss schon viel länger sein. Das muss echt viel länger sein. Vielleicht auch 34, 35? Ich weiß es nicht mehr. 40? Das könnten durchaus 40 sein. Es ist 2:40 Uhr jetzt. Ich bin seit 40 Stunden wach oder so. Das ist nicht gut. Ich sollte ins Bett gehen. Ich wollte irgendwas anmerken und ich weiß nicht mehr was. Ich bin schon voll verwirrt. Ich krieg Alzheimer. Ich werde dement. Durch Schlafmangel. Wir müssen jetzt noch vielleicht alles noch erklären, was danach passiert ist mit dem Feuerlegen und sowas. Das ist ja eigentlich alles selbst erklären. Aber genau, was ich sagen wollte, mir fehlt immer noch das Motiv. Ich will immer noch gerne wissen, warum hat Momoko das alles gemacht. Ihr könnt mir jetzt nicht einfach sagen, dass sie das alles geplant hat und gemacht hat, aber dann mir nicht mal sagen, warum? Das finde ich nicht zufriedenstellend als Auflösung, wenn ich jetzt nicht irgendwie eine Psycho-Antwort bekomme, warum sie das gemacht hat. Ich möchte gerne in die Abgründe ihrer Seele starren. When I turned towards her, she let her big brown eyes roll back and forth between everyone surrounding her, almost though to make sure that she wasn't dreaming. She seemed quite perplexed by the reactions and looks she received from the others. They were the exact opposite from only a little while ago. This time, her gaze wasn't met with hostility. There was no anger, disdain, or disgust. Instead, wherever she looked, there were only smiling, somewhat apologetic faces. See? I told you I'd convince them, didn't I? Shinpuku. Even if though it might be lost sometimes whether it would be in a maze of lies or labyrinth of confusion, the truth will always find its way out. We just have to be a little patient and guide its way with careful thinking. That said, I'm sorry it took so long. Ja, aber was meinte, ich kann mich jetzt noch erinnern, dass Carmen irgendwie was gesagt hat, Shinpuku, you're back, you're really back oder irgendwie sowas. Was meinte sie damit? And I'm sorry I didn't do anything sooner. I just wanted to be sure that my deductions were correct before committing a grave mistake. To be quite honest, I didn't even know all the answers from the start. I had to figure most of it out along the way, but despite that, you still decided to believe me. And to stand up for me. There's nothing you have to apologize for. I honestly don't care about the details. All I care about is that you decided to help me. And I'm really thankful for that. You have no idea how happy I am. How happy that you're finally back. There, she said it again. That I was back. But what exactly did she mean by that? Huh? Thank you. Thank you, Raiko-chan. What? What was going on? Raiko-chan? Had I heard that right? Had she really called me Raiko-chan just now? She had never called me by that name before. First Shinpuku and now Raiko-chan? Just a short while ago she had still referred to me as Grumpy. Having her call me Shinpuku and had been weird enough already, but this? It felt so unnatural, almost surreal. And to top it all off, she was hugging me. Carmen, of all people, was hugging me. So hard that it felt like she was trying to squeeze my innards into a mushy pulp. Thank you, Raiko-chan. Thank you so much. Tears began to stream down her cheeks and as her voice became a little shaky again. I really had no clue what was going on, but I guess that wasn't of relevance right now. Und am Ende war doch Carmen das Mastermind hinter allem. Und sie wollte einfach nur durch diese gesamte Situation Raiko-chan ihre Detektivskills auspacken musste und wieder back ist. Oder so. All that was important was the fact that she was overcome with happiness and relief. This whole situation sure was strange and honestly made me feel somewhat uncomfortable. Nevertheless, I tried slinging my arms around her too, pressing her tightly against me. Curses, I had no problems doing this with Barra-chan, so why did this feel so awkward? Vielleicht weil sie einfach viel größere Brüste hat und das sich anders anfühlt deswegen. Never thought I'd witness the moment these two would be hugging each other. I guess even good things can be born from tragedies, huh? And in this case, it seems to be the beginning of a new friendship. Then let's hope that the beginning of something new doesn't mean the end of something old. Although, I guess that's mostly up to us, isn't it? Wird denn jetzt hier Kotoba auch mal wieder bewusst? Was ist das Gegenteil von bewusstlos? Wird er wieder bewusst habend? Bewusst reich? Bewusst besitzend? Bewusstig? Was ist das Gegenteil von bewusstlos? Ist er wieder bei Bewusstsein irgendwann? While Carmen and I continue holding each other, Taiko slowly moved over to us. As he crouched down behind her, he put a hand on her shoulder, which finally caused Carmen to let go and give me a chance to breathe again. Puzzled, she stared at him as he tried his best to make eye contact and get the words out that were weighing so heavily on his heart and mind. Carmen? Yes? I wanted to say that I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for everything I've put you through. For not believing you. For yelling at you. For wrongly accusing you. I treated you, our friend, like a criminal. Like a murderer. Even though I didn't have any concrete evidence to back it up. I just base it all on assumptions. I can't understand if you're mad at me. You have every right to be. What I did was unforgivable, so I don't even have the right to ask this of you. However, I don't want your friendship to come to an end like this. So, would you please forgive me? Taiko. Guess I have to apologize too. I didn't want to believe you were the perp, but unlike Raiko-chan, I didn't try to help ya. I didn't have the courage to speak up against everyone else. I'm really sorry. Na, was heißt against everyone else? Eigentlich mussten wir die ganze Zeit nur gegen Taiko sprechen. Nobara. I am also quite ashamed of myself. I demanded you tell us the truth, yet that is exactly what you did the entire time. I should have believed you. I am truly sorry, Aiga-san. Runa. Mika probably needs to apologize as well. Of course Mika knew all along that Carmen was innocent. Mika just wanted to see if Raiko could figure it out on her own. Mika should have just shouted Objection and cleared everything right away. Wir sind hier aber nicht in einem gewissen anderen Spiel, in dem man wirklich immer Objection rufen muss. Rie, ja klar, sie liest ihren eigenen Namen. Ich bin einfach zu müde. Ich nehme das hier jetzt auch schon seit 2 Stunden auf. Es ist fast 3 Uhr morgens. Ich bin wie gesagt seit 40 Stunden wach oder so. Das Ding will einfach nicht enden. Es will einfach nicht enden. Ich habe in einer Folge 2 andere Endings gemacht oder so. Das ist jetzt ein Ending, was bis jetzt doppelt so lang geht wie alles andere, was wir bis jetzt gemacht haben. Oh, come on, Mika. Cool. I guess she's as bad as saying sorry as I am. Oh well, I was never really good with words and the others already snatched away the best lines, so all I can give you is a simple sorry. But I'll have you know it comes from the bottom of my heart. Everyone. By now everyone had gathered behind Carmen and me. I moved aside to make room so that they could crouch down and semicircle around her. One after another they began hugging her, each of them apologizing one more time. Carmen seemed rather overwhelmed by this, and it became even harder for her to hold back her tears. But I had a feeling that she didn't mind too much. Carmen. I couldn't even begin to imagine how much she must have suffered tonight. Not only had she been betrayed by her best and only true friend, she had also lost her forever. And as that hadn't been enough already, her classmates, her other friends, none of them had believed her. Instead, they had ganged up on her, blaming her for crimes she had never committed. I had no idea how that must have felt. However, I knew what it was like to lose the most important person in your life. And that feeling alone was devastatingly painful beyond all possible imagination. Ich weiß nicht, sowas hat sie auch schon die ganze Zeit immer wieder gesagt, was von, dass sie hier jemand Wichtigen verloren hat und dann kam wieder dieses mit Raiko, you're back und sowas. Worum geht es? Ich glaube, ich verstehe irgendwas nicht. I'd like to thank you too, Raiko-chan. Thanks for showing me how stupid and ignorant I was. If you hadn't opened my eyes, I would have made a big mistake. I mean, I already did. But you stopped me from making it any worse. As I've said before, I let my anger get the better of me. And I wanted to vent that anger on the person responsible for doing this to us, to Kodoba. However, when you started to protect Carmen, I realized that I might have been wrong. And after that, I didn't want to leave anything to chance anymore. I wanted to know the real truth. That's why I was so persistent. I honestly didn't mean to play the bad guy or anything. I just had to make sure that you were the one on the right track. After all, you reminded me of how important it is to consider all eventualities before jumping to a false conclusion. I see. So, yeah, sorry about that. And once again, thank you for bringing this to its proper conclusion. I really owe you. Oh, jetzt wird sie wieder rot. With a big smile on his face, he patted me on the head. Ja, head pats. This time, I was the one who had no idea what to say or how to react, so all I could do was endure it in silence until he stopped. Curses, for some reason I hadn't had any problems talking to no end when I had tried to prove Carmen's innocence, but now I was suddenly back to barely getting a word out. Info, X page for Taiko's profile has been added. In any case, I continued watching how the others kept hugging Carmen, apologizing to her as well as to console her. It was a rather heartwarming scene, to be honest. Eventually, though, she managed to calm down, and everyone moved back to their places. When I took mine next to her again, she still seemed a little flustered, but gave me a shy smile, which I answered with one of my own. Once everyone had settled down again, Taiko cleared his throat in order to draw our attention. The police hadn't arrived yet, so it seemed as though we still had a bit more time. And apparently, he didn't want it to go to waste. Carmen, if it's okay with you, I'd like to ask you some more questions. Aha, jetzt doch. There are still a few things I don't quite understand, and I'd like to know the answers to them. But only if it's fine with you. Sure, go ahead. I don't mind. Thank you. Well, first of all, since you never really told us, where exactly have you been all this time? After the first blackout, you stayed with Hiro and Momoko on the second floor. However, at some point you must have gone somewhere else. We never saw you again until we heard you scream and found you in front of that guest room. Earlier you told us that you'd been hiding, but you refused to elaborate on that. So what exactly happened? Well, it's just as I said. I was hiding. Momo wanted me too. It was part of her plan. Part of her plan? Yes. You see, during the second blackout, once Raiko-chan and the others were gone, Hiro, Momo and I were going to prepare our next move. Our plan was to make you believe that Momo's death had been the work of that ghost from Hiro's story. Wait, that horror story was part of your plan too? Was hast du denn gedacht, dass die wirklich so passiert ist? I figured as much. It couldn't have been the mere coincidence. Yeah, we wanted to tell you guys a story that was similar to what could have happened to Momo. The whole prank was basically about her getting possessed by a ghost and driven to commit suicide. She told us that would make it scarier. But if Mori-san knew about Shirataka-san's tale in advance, wouldn't that mean... Yeah, the argument between Momo and Hiro was staged. It was also part of our plan. Only Kotoba didn't know about it. Dang! It's not just you who's a good actress, huh? Hiro and Momo were too. That whole argument didn't feel like fake at all. That might be because the two of them had a lot of practice. They actually argued like that all the time. Even about the very same thing. Momo proposed to just reenact one of their usual arguments, saying that it would fit well with the story and make it feel more realistic. Wait, so they had a real argument as a fake argument? That's kinda messed up. Tell me about it.
Wahrscheinlich sind auch deswegen die Gefühle hochgekommen, mit denen sie Hiro dann töten wollte.
I didn't think that was a good idea either, but Hiro didn't seem particularly bothered by it. And I'm beginning to think that Momo knew that it would only help her go through with her true intentions, so... In any case, as I was going to say, we wanted to make you believe that Momo fell victim to the curse. Originally, she was supposed to go into hiding, while Hiro and I will tell you that her body had suddenly disappeared. However, she told us that there was a slight change of plans. A change of plans? She said that she had come up with an even better idea and asked me to lend her my cape and hat. She wanted Hiro to tell the others that I had been spirited away by her ghost, and that those two things had been all to remain of me. I obviously didn't suspect a thing and gave them to her. Then, while she wanted Hiro to stay with her, she told me to hide and only return once she'd given me the signal.
Ja, und das Signal hat sie dann bekommen und deswegen ist sie wiedergekommen. Genauso wie auch Kotoba auf ein Signal da unten gewartet hat und dann angezündet wurde.
So that's what happened. While Carmen had gone into hiding, Momoko and Hiro had remained in the guest room. At some point she must have killed him, and then, knowing that sooner or later someone was going to check on them again, had simply waited wearing Carmen's hat and cape. And we already knew the rest from here. We saw her stab Hiro and Raiko-chan chased after her when she escaped through the window. She hid somewhere in the thicket, waited for Raiko-chan to disappear, and then climbed back up into the guest room. Next, she removed the Halloween sign and stuck it to the neighboring door. That's how she misled us. While I unlocked the wrong room, she was barricading herself inside the right one. The one with Hiro's corpse, which we thought had suddenly vanished. But why exactly did she do that anyways? She probably didn't want you to inspect the room and take a closer look at Hiro's body just yet. She wasn't quite done with her plan after all. Indeed. While Nobara-chan and I had returned to the dining hall to tell the others about everything, Momoko had just likely climbed out the window one more time. Runterzugehen und Kodoba anzuzünden, ne? After running to the other side of the building, she had probably knocked at the breaker room window, asking Kodoba to let her inside. Ja, und dann war sie da und hat ihm eine aufs Maul gegeben, sodass er umgekippt ist. Hat dann selbst den Strom ausgeschaltet und ihn hier angezündet. Still thinking they're playing a prank on everyone, and completely unaware of the fact that someone had actually died, he had let her inside, of course. Knowing how much he had liked Momoko, it probably hadn't been too hard for her to get him to drop his guard. Und wir haben in dieser Zeitlinie, ich nenne es jetzt einfach mal Zeitlinie, auch Kodoba gerettet, ne? If it had even been up to begin with. Aber hier haben wir seine Zeugenaussage ja quasi auch noch, ne? Using a steel pipe, she had knocked him out and tied him up. Then, after spilling the gasoline across the floor, as well as some of the burnable objects, ich hatte gerade Schwierigkeiten, das Wort burnable zu lesen, she had scattered about, she had climbed outside the window again. From there, she had used a match to light the gasoline trail, setting everything on fire. Ja, aber er lebt noch, ne? Including Kodoba. But why? I just don't get it. Why did she do this to him? Weil er ein Zeuge war? Why set him on fire? If she wanted to kill him, why not at least make it quick? She could have easily stabbed him like Hiro. Er war ja mit einem Seil da festgebunden oder sowas, ne? Wahrscheinlich wollte sie das so darstellen, als wäre es ein Unfall gewesen und da wäre irgendeine Sicherung durchgebrannt. But no, she purposely decided to set Kodoba on fire. Why? Ja, sie war ja immer noch da oben in dem Raum, ne? Also sie wollte... Ich denke mal, sie wollte, dass wir abgelenkt sind. Sie wollte, dass wir uns um Kodoba kümmern, während sie sich halt oben dann erhängt. Beziehungsweise während sie Carmen Bescheid gibt, dass sie ihr Hiding Place jetzt wieder verlassen kann. Und dann hat sie sich selbst erhängt. Würde ich mal behaupten. A distraction? Yes. She didn't want Kodoba to die immediately. The smoke and the heat created by the flames were sure to wake him up again. Vor allem, er lebt doch jetzt auch noch, oder? She wanted him to cry for help so that we would run to the basement and learn about the fire. After all, she needed a bit more time for her final preparations upstairs and couldn't risk anyone getting there too soon. Final preparations? After starting the fire, Momoko had returned to the second floor guest room one last time. There she had prepared Hiro's body so that we would clearly see the wounds on his chest before getting everything ready for her suicide, which had included attaching the rope to the ceiling again and tying it into a noose. Before she had actually hanged herself, however, there had been one other thing to do. In order to fully cement Kamen as a culprit, she had needed to call her back. Genau. And I think I know how she did that and also where exactly you've been hiding. Ich glaube, Kamen war die ganze Zeit oben, im 3. Stock, und mit diesem Intercom hat sie Bescheid gesagt. Hä? You do? Muss ich jetzt hier Maps, 3rd Floor, Room Service, Show? Actually, gut, dann doch nicht. Back. Dann ist wahrscheinlich die Evidence, die wir brauchen, der Intercom, ne? The room service on the 3rd floor. When I went to check it earlier, I realized that the door was open. I bet Momoko asked Hiro to unlock it as well. That's right, but how did you know? Momoko might have been wearing Hiro's gloves so as to not leave any fingerprints, but while she stabbed him over and over again, his blood got onto them. As a result, she smeared some of it on the intercom when she used it to contact you. You don't miss anything, do you? So, once you turned the power back on, Momoko used the intercom to call Kamen, huh? Yes. And while Kamen was on her way to the guest room, Momoko hanged herself. When Kamen discovered her, she let out a scream. And then we rushed upstairs where we found her in front of that guest room. And because she had been missing all the time, we naturally assumed that only she could have been the one behind the fire. So that's how everything went down. And even if you had told us all that from the beginning, no one would have believed ya. Well, not like I could blame you for that. I wouldn't have believed me either. To think Momoko really did all this. Ja, aber warum? That she came up with such a vicious plan? Why? Just why did she do all this? Yes, that was the last big remaining question. Maybe even the most important of all. Momoko's motive. Speichere an dieser Stelle nochmal, bevor ich jetzt hier noch irgendwas verkacken kann. Ich bin müde genug, um etwas zu verkacken. What could have possibly driven a cute and shy girl like her to such an extreme act? Not only had she wanted to kill 2 of her classmates, one of them even her lover, she had also tried to blame everything on her best friend. It seemed like quite a paradox. Es sei denn, sie hat Kamen und Hiro miteinander erwischt. Why do this to the people most important to her? I wanna know too. Especially why she did this to Kodoba. What exactly did he do to her to deserve something like this? Ich glaube, er war einfach nur da. Little by little, 6 pairs of eyes were drawn to Kamen. If there was anyone who was able to shed some light on this now, it was her. Unfortunately, she remained silent and purposely avoided eye contact by staring at the table surface instead. We couldn't force her to answer, of course, and we didn't want to either. Not after what we had already done to her. Besides, maybe she didn't even know the answer herself. Still, we couldn't quite hide our frustration over it, especially Taiko. Just as he let out a deep, disheartened sigh, however. I can't be absolutely sure, of course, but I think I know her reasons. Huh? You probably want to hear about Kodoba first, right? So I guess I'll start with him. Please do. Like most people in our class, Momo never really liked Kodoba because of his perverted nature. Apparently he liked her a lot though, and he tried to show that to her whenever he could. Even before she got so popular after that concert, Kotoba slipped her love letters on a regular basis. He was really persistent and kept asking her out again and again.
Also, mit anderen Worten, ist ihr einfach auf die Nerven gegangen.
But she would always turn him down. As nicely as possible, of course. I'm sorry, not today, but maybe some other time. It probably was a mistake giving him hope like that, but she didn't want to be mean. That's just the kind of person she was. I told her to make it clear to him, but she didn't.
Aber trotzdem ist sie dann eine Mörderin, obwohl sie so eine nette Person war.
And so he kept coming back. Eventually she started to ignore his letters, throwing them away without even reading them. When he realized this, he tried other things to gain her attention. Lots of weird things. In order to find out what she liked, he would follow her in secret, sometimes even for an entire day.
Ein richtiger Stalker, ne?
I knew he was kinda obsessed with Momoko, but I had no idea that he was stalking her. Well, he was, and it scared her. What do you imagine a girl like her would think when she's being stalked by a perverted guy like that who never manages to keep his dirty fantasies to himself? Hey, he might have been a pervert, but he would have never gone that far. Even if that's true, how was she supposed to know?
Ja, die hatte Angst vor ihm. Also das war ein Stalker, den sie loswerden wollte. Macht Sinn.
Why did you never tell me about this? I could have talked him out of it. She was too shy to go to you. I was considering it though. I even threatened him I'd notify the police if he kept that up, and I guess it worked. He stopped. Not entirely. She would still find love letters or apology letters every now and then, but it definitely got a lot better. Especially after she got together with Hiro. Yeah, he kinda gave up on her after that. Anywho, so that's the reason she wanted to kill him? Because she was scared of him? At the very least, it probably made the decision easier.
Eigentlich war er nur ein Mittel zum Zweck.
To be honest, I don't think she originally wanted to kill him. Her main target was Hiro. But I guess once she realized that she needed someone else's help, that changed. She picked Kotoba because he was easy to manipulate. And, of course, after that, she had no choice but to kill him too. At least if she wanted everyone to believe that I was the culprit.
Aber hat ja jetzt auch überlebt, ne?
I guess that would make sense. We didn't believe you, but if there had been someone else to confirm your story, well... Yes, because of that, she had to kill him. And even though she hadn't planned to in the beginning, I don't think it really bothered her that much due to the thing he had done to her. It looked like Taiko wanted to speak up in Kotoba's defense again, but he reluctantly swallowed his words, realizing that there wasn't anything to justify about his friend's actions. It probably wasn't easy for him to learn these things about Kotoba. All he could do was apologize that he hadn't noticed how much his best friend must have scared Momoko, and that he hadn't been able to do anything about it. It's okay. It's not your fault. And not really Kotoba's either. Like I said, if it hadn't been for Hiro, Momo would have never killed anyone, I'm sure.
So she only did all of this because of Hiro? But why? I thought she loved him.
We already learned that they argued a lot and weren't exactly the happiest couple, even though they sure liked to pretend otherwise. Or at least Hiro did. However, was it really so bad that she wanted to kill him? Was?
Sagst du gerade, das hätte er verdient oder so?
You have no idea how bad it was.
Achso, war die Idee wirklich... Es ging nicht darum, ob die Idee wirklich so schlimm war. Oh mein Gott. Das ist alles eine Frage der Betonung. es ging gerade darum, ob die Beziehung wirklich so schlimm war, dass sie ihn töten wollte. Aber so wie ich das vorgelesen habe, war es wirklich so schlimm, dass sie ihn töten wollte? Das war in dem Satz irgendwie ein bisschen falsch betonbar. Und ich habe den Satz auch erst so verstanden.
It's true. Momo and Hiro had a lot of arguments. She easily got jealous of the smallest things, which greatly annoyed him. They often argued about that, but of course, it was no reason for her to kill him.
So there was something else.
A couple of things, actually. First and foremost, the fact that he didn't even love her.
Wait, what?
He didn't?
But why did he want to have her as his girlfriend then?
Simple. Too simple, actually. You see, like most guys, Hiro didn't really pay much attention to Momo at first. That only changed after she managed to build up the courage to take part in that concert.
Er wollte sie nur als ein Statussymbol oder was? That's no surprise though, is it? Momoko never was a girl that stood out much, so she kinda went unnoticed there until her performance during the cultural festival.
That was certainly true. Momoko hadn't been that different from me in many regards. She'd always been an introvert, shy, quiet, barely taking to anyone but her best friend. That's why after that concert she had become the talk of our class. Everyone had been surprised since they hadn't thought her capable of performing on stage in front of a huge crowd. Because of that, she had gotten a lot more attention, to the point that you could even hear students from other classes talk about her in the hallways. With that, more and more guys started to show interest in her as well. And then, one morning, Hiro suddenly proclaimed their relationship in front of the entire class. Yes, but did you never think of it as strange? I mean, you know what kind of guy he was. A show-off who enjoyed being in the spotlight. Wait, are you saying that that is the reason he wanted to be together with her? Yes, because she was so popular. Sag ich hier als Statussymbol. Because everyone was talking about her. And because everyone envied him for getting together with her. Seriously? Seriously? I could never stand that guy's attitude, but to think that he would go that far just to get attention? Wow, just wow! How the heck did she fall for him anyways? That's something I never understood. Well, I have to admit that Hiro knew how to make a girl feel special. He could be really charming when he wanted to.
Ja, damit hat Runa auch Erfahrung gemacht, ne?
But the thing is, it was all just an act. He might have treated you like you were the most precious being on Earth, but he didn't actually mean it. Like with everything else, all he really cared about it when it came to a girl was if she could be of use to him. If she could help him bathe in the spotlight.
That cannot be true. Shiratake-san was not like that. He was a really nice and kind person. He wasn't that selfish. He would have never...
You're only saying that because you didn't really know him.
Vielleicht hat er auch gemacht, dass du dich special fühlst, weil er dachte, von dir kann er auch irgendwas haben.
You let yourself get blinded by him, like Momo did. He wasn't a nice guy at all, and you know that. Don't delude yourself, Runa. He ditched you in a heartbeat and didn't even tell you why. You must have been wondering why he suddenly ignored you like that, huh? Want me to tell you the reason? As well as the reason why he wanted to go out with you in the first place?
Runa seemed torn. Like part of her wanted to know, but another was scared of the answer. Langsam geht das auch übelst auf die Stimme, ne? Es tut mir weh. In the end, however, She just had to know the truth, and so she gave Carmen a silent nod. There are a lot of people who think your family is super rich, right? Since the beginning of the school year, rumors to that effect were going through class, and for a while everyone was talking about it, especially after summer vacation. And that's exactly when he started to show interest in you, didn't he? What? The only reason he asked her out was because it drew attention to him as well, and because he sure would have liked to have a rich girlfriend. But then he went to visit you at home one day, right? And that's when he learned those rumors weren't true. And the next day he ignored you. Weil sie nicht reich ist. Did the timing of it all never strike you as odd? To be honest, I always suspected it as much, but I did not want to believe it. Hiro war echt ein Arsch. He was the first person to ever tell me they loved me. And he treated me so nicely for the short time we went out together. I didn't want to believe that it all had been an act. Runa! No one said a word as Runa wiped her eyes with the sleeve of her kimono. They all seemed quite shocked at this revelation, but it honestly didn't surprise me one bit. Heroes had always loved being the center of attention and presenting himself as someone enviable. Many hated him for that attitude, including myself. I could certainly see him as the kind of guy who saw even a girl as nothing more than an object of prestige he could show off to make others jealous. So, fehlt nur noch das eine Motiv. Warum wollte sie es Carmen anhängen, wenn Carmen doch ihre beste Freundin ist? Ich meine, wenn sie sich selbst umbringt, hätte sie ja überhaupt keinen Grund mehr gehabt, den Mord noch jemand anderem anzuhängen. Also muss sie wohl auch irgendein Problem noch mit Carmen gehabt haben, ne? Das möchte ich gerne noch wissen. At least that's the way it had always come across whenever he had talked about Momoko or shown himself with her in front of others. So he just wanted Momo and Runa to be his girlfriends to brag about them? That really all? Yes, that's all he cared about. He never really loved Runa, and he certainly never loved Momo either. How could Carmen be so sure about that? Just because Hiro liked showing off with Momoko doesn't necessarily mean Hiro didn't love Momoko. Maybe Hiro actually did love her. No, he didn't. He didn't love her at all. I know that because barely 2 weeks after he got together with her, he was already hitting on another girl. What? For real? Yeah, and he tried to feed her the same bullshit. Und das warst du? That he truly loved her and wanted to be together with her. That she was the most beautiful and intelligent girl he had ever met. That fucking asshole. The same things he told Momo. He said the very same crap to me. Hab ich's doch geahnt. He was hitting on you? Yeah. Can you believe the nerve of that guy? Just after he got together with my best friend. Of course I didn't buy any of his shit. I wouldn't have wanted to be together with him anyway. I could never stand that guy. I hate arrogant show-offs and cheaters even more. Naturally, I confronted him about it and told him just that, but he didn't seem to care. He just went on and on about how much he loved me, so I asked him. Was hast du ihn gefragt? Let's say I did decide to become your girlfriend. What about Momo? What do you mean, what about her? Who gives a shit? I do, because she's my friend, goddammit. And you are her boyfriend, for crying out loud. How do you explain this to her? You'd have to break up. So what? I don't care. She'll get over it. Are you serious? I told you I only love you. If I can't have you, I don't need Momoko anymore. Ist sie etwa auch reich? So, you're going to throw her away? Like a piece of garbage? If you want to put it like that? The only reason I wanted her to be my girlfriend in the first place was because she's popular as fuck and everyone wants her. I never truly felt anything for her, but with you it's different. Yeah, go fuck yourself. I'm serious. I guess, at least in that regard, I'm truly thankful to Momoko. Through her, I got to learn more about you. The three of us spent a lot of time together over these past 2 weeks, and I've realized that you're literally everything I've always been looking for in a girl. I swear to God, this is the first time in my life I actually truly fell in love. Please, believe me, Carmen. I love you. I need you. Can you believe that? Can you believe he actually said those things? He didn't care about Momo at all. To him, she was just like an expensive car or something. An object to show off while it was still interesting before throwing it away. I was so angry at him. I had no idea if he was actually serious about me or not, but I didn't care either. I told him to stop and to tell Momo the truth, but he wouldn't. He just wouldn't give up. He bought me presents, spammed my phone with love messages, and just kept going no matter what I said. You mean he was kinda like Kodo-kun? I guess. Yeah, I guess you could say that. But if you knew all that, why didn't you tell Momoko? Or did you? Sie wollte sie wahrscheinlich nicht damit belasten, ne? Of course I did. I tried to warn her, but... Yeah. I don't believe you. You're just jealous, aren't you? What? No, that's not true. Don't lie to me. I know you and Hiro talk a lot when I'm not around. Misaki told me she even saw you two together in the park the one day and a few times after school. Also deswegen wollte sie das, Ganze wahrscheinlich Carmen anhängen, weil sie eifersüchtig war und wirklich dachte, die beiden hätten was am Laufen. Sie dachte wirklich, die beiden hätten was am Laufen. Well, that's because he keeps... I don't even want to hear it. If you want him for yourself, you want him for yourself, don't you? That's nonsense. Seriously, I don't care about him. Well, if that's the case, you shouldn't have any problem with us being together. But I do. I told you he's using you. He doesn't love you at all. He just wants... Stop it. I don't care what you think about him. This is my decision. If I want to be together with him, you'll have to accept that. I love him, got it? So keep your hands off him. I really don't want it to come to this, but if you don't, we're done, okay? What? Okay, sie hat ja fast die Freundschaft gekündigt, deswegen. Also sie hat tatsächlich ein Eifersuchtsproblem. Was bei dem Boyfriend jetzt auch nicht unbedingt fehl am Platz ist, ne? I couldn't believe it. After that argument, I didn't touch the subject again. I didn't want a friendship to suffer from it. Dang! She must have really loved that guy if she was willing to go that far, huh? Maybe. Or maybe she was just deluding herself like Iruna. Either way, I can't really blame her for her action. What do you mean? Momo never really had much luck when it came to trusting others. As I said before, she was way too nice.
She never wanted to upset anybody, and some people exploited that weakness. People pretending to be her friends. She got betrayed again and again in the past, and so she began to distance herself from others. Ich weiß nicht wieso, aber irgendwie kann ich dazu voll relaten. Ich kann dazu voll relaten irgendwie. Ich könnte das auch mal. Ich hatte mal so eine Gruppe von Freunden. Und irgendwann, ne? Also so eine Gruppe von Freunden und wir hatten irgendwie so Sachen geplant und irgendwie sowas. Und dann irgendwann haben die diese Sachen, die wir geplant hatten, einfach ohne mich gemacht und mir nichts darüber gesagt. Und ich war dann einfach irgendwie nicht mehr Teil dieser Gruppe. Ich weiß es nicht. Es war... Keine Ahnung. Keine Ahnung. Aber das liegt weit hinter mir. Das liegt hinter mir. Ich habe auch Vertrauensprobleme, ist halt so. After getting stabbed in the back so many times, it naturally became difficult for her to trust anyone. Which is also why she got so easily jealous. The smallest sign of happening again scared her. I see. It took a long time until she even told me all those things. I had to be very patient and work really hard before she opened up her heart to me. Only earlier this year, after almost 2 years of knowing each other, she finally told me that I was the first person she ever fully trusted. And that I had helped her gain more confidence, so that she was willing to give others a chance again, as well. You have no idea how incredibly happy that made me. I promised her I'd always support her and never betray her. She said she believed me, but in the end, I guess that wasn't true. When the whole dilemma with Hiro started, she seemed to become scared. And no matter what I said, she couldn't help but get suspicious of me.
Ich werde das unterteilen müssen, diese Folge. Ich meine, dieses Ending geht jetzt mittlerweile einfach 3-mal so lange wie alle anderen Endings. Es hört einfach nicht auf.
The day I told her about Rie's and Runa's Halloween prank, we went to have lunch together in a restaurant.
Das ist aber ein süßes Handy.
At some point, I needed to use the bathroom and left my cell phone lying on the table.
Ach, das ist sogar Carmens Handy.
When I came back, I thought its position had changed.
Das heißt, dass Momoko wahrscheinlich die ganzen Liebesnachrichten von Hiro gesehen hat, ne?
For the rest of the day, Momo kept acting rather odd. I couldn't be sure, of course, but I was afraid she might have checked my messages. Stupid as I was, I still had deleted all of Hiro's. Some of his love declarations, others with questionable things he would have loved to do with me, and yet some more in which he stated his true thoughts about Momo. They were still there. I couldn't ask her about it, of course, but I got scared. What if she had read them? She didn't say anything about it the following day, or the day after that. So I was hoping that I was just driving myself crazy over nothing, but
she had read everything, and she had felt betrayed by her boyfriend as well as the person she had thought to be her best friend. Dabei kann Carmen da nichts mal was für.
So that was why Momoko had gone this far.
Ach, das sagt sie gar nicht. Das ist jetzt wieder Raiko.
So that was why Momoko had gone this far. Why she had wanted to end her life and get revenge on the people so close to her. The guy she had loved had treated her like trash, and the only person she had ever thought she could fully trust had betrayed her. Karen must have been to Momoko what Barachan was to me. I had no idea how I would have reacted if I had found out that Bara-chan had betrayed me in such a way. Since she never had many friends, Momoko must have been extremely attached to the few people close to her, similar to me. So, ich frage mich aber immer noch, was sie jetzt meinte mit Raiko-chan, you're back. Das ergibt mir immer noch nicht ganz so viel Sinn. So, learning all these things must have been quite a shock. A fragile mental state, weakened over time by continuous betrayal, might have been easily shattered by all of this, throwing her into despair and breaking her to the point where she had entirely snapped. If only she had listened to me, if only she had believed me, then maybe none of this would have happened. Then again, how could I even expect her to believe me when I never told her the truth to begin with? The truth? What do you mean? I thought you told her the truth. The truth about my feelings. Huh? You see, I'm not even interested in guys. Oh. Sie war wahrscheinlich verknallt in Momoko, ne? Wait, what are you saying? I actually loved her. I loved Momo. Once those words had escaped Carmen's lips, we were left speechless. For a moment it seemed as though she regretted telling us this. She looked away and didn't dare meet our eyes. However, that initial embarrassment quickly changed into another wave of sadness and anger. She clenched her fist and forcefully hammered it onto the table. You see, if anyone had any reason to be driven mad by jealousy, it was me. I fell in love with her for the moment I first met her. I just never managed to tell her about my feelings because I was afraid it could ruin our friendship. I mean, I knew she wasn't interested in girls, so what else was I supposed to do? It took some time, but I kinda managed to get over it and simply see her as a friend. However, when she got together with Hiro, it was still painful. So I guess she was kinda right. I was jealous. I did try to get between them. Not to be together with Hiro, though. I merely wanted to protect her. But my efforts backfired. She got the entirely wrong idea. If only I had told her the truth about my feelings, then maybe... It's ironic, isn't it? So much that it's funny, actually. A sudden breakout of laughter didn't last long. It quickly evolved into desperate crying and screaming as she threw herself against my chest once more. Why was it always some stupid misunderstanding that led to such tragedies? Your diary entry. Wie viel kommt denn da noch? Extract for Hero's profile has been added. Extract for Carmen's has been added. Epilog. Wow. The Cornered Fox and the Endangered Flower. Es gibt also noch einen Epilog. Even though it had only started a couple of months ago, the sudden downpour was already starting to subside. Ich würde fast sagen, ich hab echt genug, ich muss ins Bett. Jetzt ist es schon fast 4. Es ist 3:38 Uhr, ich muss ins Bett. Ich muss sowas von ins Bett. Ich mache hier jetzt Schluss. Ne? Wir sehen uns beim nächsten Mal an dieser Stelle wieder. Weil ich meine, wenn jetzt nochmal so ein ganzes Epilog-Kapitel kommt, dann mache ich das nicht mehr jetzt. Nicht mehr jetzt. Das machen wir beim nächsten Mal. Bis dann, Leute. Ciao.